live session. We've got a really fantastic session lined up for you today. I'm really excited because we're going to cover the story of how Mohammed Abba-Aji was able to publish 3 papers in under 6 months and get admitted to a lot of top programs for his PhD. So Mohammed is going to be joining us in just a second here. And as he's signing on with us, we sometimes have in developing countries some technical hiccups on connecting. I just want to give you guys some background about me because I know we've got a lot of new members joining us in the group for the first time. And I'm Professor David Stuckler, and I created this community, Fast Track Grad, specifically to help grads out there to avoid some of the most common pitfalls that many of you encounter in your graduate studies. Pitfalls like not having the support and guidance you need to really thrive, or feeling lost in your writing, going in circles, and many of the soft skills that you need to be productive, stay focused, and have a resilient mindset as times get hard. And so I created this support community initially for my PhD students during COVID when they're feeling isolated, and it's really blown up and grown, thanks in no small part to you, to what it is today, to be a leading open access community to serve grads. So to really get the most power out of this community, you're going to find a lot of valuable trainings in the guide section of our Facebook group. Just a reminder for those of you who are joining us from YouTube or LinkedIn, you're going to find a lot of value in the group here. So do join if you haven't already. And it gives you the opportunity to directly liaise with me. Our Friday live sessions we do weekly, and that is our time to dig deep and get into the things that you're finding most challenging at the moment. Maybe ask some of the questions you're afraid to ask and get an unfiltered, honest answer and immediate support and guidance from me, tapping to the experience that I have, having published over 400 articles and been a professor at Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, and now Bocconi and Milan, where I could not be any happier. So Mohammed, really fantastic to have you join us. Mohammed, how are things going? I'm just going to bring you into the spotlight here. Hey, Mohammed. Oh, hang on, Mohammed. I think we don't have your audio for a second. You might just have to tweak your audio settings. I know you got disconnected for a moment there just as we were starting. So, no, Mohammed can't get the audio coming through. You might have to disconnect and reconnect. So we'll wait for you to do that. Don't worry. And you, a lot of people have said, "Wow, wait a second. You've gone from not publishing at all to never published a paper, never even submitted a paper to a journal, to getting 3 papers out in under 6 months, as well as applying to some top PhD programs, doctoral programs, and getting spoiled for choice on them." It's really quite an inspiring story to me, and I hope you're going to be inspired as well. Mohammed, are you with us?
Am I audible now?
You're audible now. Excellent, excellent. Kind of normal situation. Never know how the technology is going to be. Mohammed, thanks so much for joining us. Really great to have you today. Just take us a little bit from the beginning. Tell us a bit about your background and maybe where you were before, at the start of this journey, before you had published these papers and gotten into top doctoral programs.
Yeah. Once again, everybody, good afternoon. And David, thank you very much for having me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my experience with other members of Fast Track Grad. So I joined Fast Track towards the last quarter of last year, and then when I joined, I had little experience, especially publishing as first author. So when I joined David, I had the typical roadmap session with him, and if you remember, David, I think we sort of highlighted a trajectory where we wanted me to get within 6 months. And at that time, it was to get published and then to send out applications. And to be honest with you, I myself wasn't expecting that I would publish 3 articles within that time. But as fate would have it, I think I was on the right side of things, and I got to publish my own systematic review as first author from start to finish. And I was also able to be part of 2 very, very important, very, very powerful publications. And so I think I'm very, very grateful for that. And also, I was able to meet my most ambitious goal, or my most what I had most priority for, which was getting admitted into good doctoral programs. Not only that, getting admitted with funding as well. So I think was where I was, and I think this is where I am now.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, take us back for a second though. So, because people don't know you, like just some background things, where you're from. I know you've got worked with the military in Nigeria before. But tell people a little bit about you though, and kind of what maybe you were struggling with or finding challenging, kind of
Yeah.
at the start of this. Because really, in 6 months, that's a lot of things that you've accomplished. I think a lot of people watching would be like, "Wow, that would be a dream if I could do that."
Yeah. So I'm currently a senior ranking military officer in the Nigerian Air Force, and I'm a practicing physician with I think over a decade worth of experience, serving both in a policy position as well as on the field as a field commander in a conflict region. I headed humanitarian teams into conflict zone, as well as established emergency or field hospitals, if you would, in these places. So at that time, I had little or no experience with publishing, and then so I reached out to you, and I think I saw one of your posts on LinkedIn, and I just checked out the stream. When I went and I saw there was a lot of value, I further reached out to you again, and I think that was how we started conversations, and that was how I enrolled into the fast track program.
Tell us a little bit, Mohammed, a bit like so concretely. I mean, how did you? What was it like working with the program to take you from this point of not having had that research experience before? I mean, you're obviously accomplished physician, military experience, but how did? I mean, how did that work? What was that like? Did you have any moments where things just kind of clicked into place? How did it go?
So there's always a lot of value in having the right mentorship and having the right people that would set you on the right track. To be honest with you, if I hadn't had that conversation we had about you in the roadmap session about pursuing a systematic review on migrants and ethnic minorities, right where the debate was at, I don't think I would have come up with that myself. So I think that was the key aha moment for me. And
So, 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 so tell me, tell me a little bit more about that because I think that's really important about uh, how we, we found that right topic for you. I think a lot of students struggle to find a good topic, and wonder how that would work. Can you share a little bit about that since you said that was an aha moment?
well, I think if you'd allow me to share some of the secrets in the group, then fine.
Yeah, that you
Yeah,
know,
I
I
think
make these open secrets because I want to see everybody thrive.
yes. So th- th- there is this very, very nice Venn diagram. I think you took us through, which I think it's one of the cycles is about what the debate is, the other is about the feasibility, and then the other is about your passion and that topic. So for me, we were able to find where the debate was. The debate was around COVID, was about vaccine inequities, and then it was also feasible because a lot studies were coming out at a very, very rapid pace. And then also we're able to synthesize a very, very good research question that we felt would answer a very, very huge question that would fill in a very huge gap in the literature. And then we were also able to key into something I was passionate about, which is migrants, and then which is also inequities. I've worked with people who are displaced. I've worked with refugees. So this was a very, very passionate demographic for me. So at the intersection of all this is what we call the sweet spot. So we were able to find my sweet spot there, and from then I think everything was just falling into place.
All right.
And,
So for you, getting that topic right made sense, and it was a topic I know you were excited about. You could see. I mean, I thought you came up with a really good one that really maximized those three criteria, hit that sweet spot. Sharon's adding, I love this. Well done, Mohammed. It's really inspiring because I think a lot of people look at it and think, well, I don't know if I could do that. And you're proof positive that with the right hard work and right support, you can. So you said it was then smooth sailing from there. How was it smooth sailing? Because I think there's a lot of people in the group that have their topic, and they still feel like they might get stuck or go in circles or not feel certain. Uh,
I think
what was so
I think
smooth?
I think that's where the power of community comes in. That's where mentorship also comes in, because when you set me out, when I cast the sail, it wasn't like, oh, just you're off, go on your own, and whatever happens, you weather the storm on your own. I think you were very, very accessible and also very, very understanding. I would just send you DMs in the middle of the night, asking you, David, how do I go about this, and would sort of reevaluate again. And at times you make it very, very obvious that there is a proven method that if one can adhere to, you would make it, you would be able to publish at the within the shortest time. So at times it's like that, and at times you will just find a certain surge of energy, and once you just overcome that hurdle, it sort of takes care of itself. So yeah, it was to an extent smooth sailing, but we don't want to sit here and then sort of sugarcoat everything and make it seem once you just start, you just get published. There is a level of commitment that is expected from you, and if I, with a full-time job that takes off almost all of my day, I can still be able to publish, then I feel almost everyone else will be able to, with just a little bit of commitment and the right guidance.
I mean, absolutely, exactly, and I'm glad you said that because I think it would be false advertising to say that it's easy. No, it's research. I mean, you're contributing to a scientific field. There is still hard work involved, and even though there are some shortcuts that can help make things smooth and efficient, I mean, Mohammed, there's no doubt about it. You worked very, very hard. I mean, on your side, because you also balance because you're running a full-time job at the same time. How did you manage to balance that time on the review?
Well, the I think that's the thing. If you don't know that these shortcuts exist, I don't even want to use shortcuts. I think it's a misnomer. If you don't know that there are efficient ways to do this, then I think you'd spend most of your time trying to do a lot, and which you might not be able to, and you would get overwhelmed at the end of the day. But if someone is there to show you the most effective or the most efficient strategies to get this done, if that person has done it uh, several times and has seen the result, he has done it for himself and his students as well. So you would have that faith in the process. There would be that fidelity. You would believe in the process, and then you would be able to stick to it. And yes, like you said, there are times when you feel you're a bit struck there, but that is why the mentor or the coach or the grad coach is accessible to you, and he'll be able to put you through some of these things. So I've been able to be efficient, one, because not only in the group we don't only talk about research all the time. So there is the well-being component, there is how you can get support from other colleagues as well, and other people have been in the same boat. Like you say in the group, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go further, go with other people. So my ability to utilize all these resources and then bring them to bear, I think, was what made my work more efficient.
Mm, mm. And Mohammed, tell us a little bit about tell us a little bit about that community, because I know you've gotten to know several people in the group. You've contacted them outside the group, helping them and supporting them on some of their reviews as they're going through some of the steps that you went through. What's that been like? I know some of you are now thinking about papers and doing other things together. Um, how has that gone?
It's been totally amazing. It's been totally amazing, and there are a lot of contributions that go towards other people's work that we don't even bother to sort of make very very obvious, because there is a lot of people would have contributed to my work, and they weren't co-authors on the paper, you know. So we don't, and I've also contributed to a lot of people's work one way or the other. It's helping them with the key in their search strategy, or whether helping them with the reference manager or things like that. So the power of community is really, really strong, because at every point in time, it's it's unlikely for you to enter a problem that no one has encountered in the group as it is now. A lot of people there. And there is also, I came in with my own cohort as well, the people that I could lean on at any point in time. There are times when I was preparing for my interview. You know, we've had the general one as well, and some of my colleagues in the group also offered help and helped me with my mock interviews. So it's been wonderfully, it's been amazing, and I hope I'll be able to pay them in kind as well.
I mean, it sounds too, Mohammed, like that the community kind of kept you inspired and kept kind of wind in your sails. Because sometimes I think a lot of students, if they feel isolated and they're doing it all on their own, no matter how good you are, it can get demoralizing. Um, and so I truly believe in the power of the community, and that's really what I mean. You want as a grad student to have a community of other grads who are helping each other, and too often, especially after COVID, I know those communities got fractured, broken, and students haven't been able to get that true cohort effect that you were talking about, of coming into a program with a batch of students who really help each other, or instead aren't collegial and are competitive. I know many programs have the opposite problem, that you feel like you're in a den of snakes. Definitely not like that here. Mohammed, tell me a bit. I want to talk more about the PhD application, the doctoral applications, because I know you went specifically for a DRPH. Tell me a bit about that as well. At the beginning, I know it's something when you're applying, something that you're worried about. Obviously, something very important to you. Tell me a bit about applying, and tell me how the research fit in with that application process for you.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't catch the last part. What fitting with the
So the research, because you kind of were
oh,
doing two
oh, 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 yes, yes, yes,
research
yes,
fit in with the applying to programs.
yes, 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 yes. So you're actually right. It sort of it was sort of coming in the way, but in a very very good way as well. I'll tell you how. So through this research, I was able to um, demonstrate my interest in the field and demonstrate my commitment towards what I was pursuing, long-term commitment. And with that, we were able to identify very, very key people in the field that we felt would really contribute to the paper. And one of them was Professor Sandro Galea, whom I'm happy to say I'll be working with anytime soon. Not to put the cat ahead of the horse, but I know we'll get there. But so we were able to put in a very, very good body of work, and we sent it to him, and he was very impressed with the work. He also made the work better in the sense that he was able to help us synthesize the result in ways which would make it more topical and sort of make it more foolproof, make the research work very very strong. Um, I had other people as well included on the paper, but there's always a value of having someone who is right in the space or deep of things. And this hasn't only been for me as well. I think on some other people in the group, whom you've brokered network with, you've been able to bring people, and I think still in the process of bringing other people into your students' papers to make them not only more visible but more robust as well. So with that, I was able to anchor my applications with a very, very strong paper, and I believe that really helped during the application screenings. It made me probably stand out among other candidates as well.
Yeah, and I mean the applications went well. I mean, which places did you get into? I think I remember one you got into the very top program in your field, which was Johns Hopkins. Which other ones did you get into?
The other one was Berkeley and Boston University, and also was on the wait list for, or still on the wait list for Harvard, but I don't think I would. My mind is completely made up now. So
Yeah, and you were putting that cart before the horse. What made you decide ultimately on or lean the direction you've leaned to? Because some people would say, well, the number one ranked program here is Johns Hopkins. That would be the obvious decision. What's made you lean in a different direction?
I like how you put that, how you phrase that. That would be the obvious decision, but at times what's obvious is not always
Yeah.
what is true. So I decided to go with, or I hope to go with Boston University, because like you've always told me, it's not about the pedigree of the program or the school, but it's about the type with other things like masters, BScs. It's okay to go for the most highly ranked school, but with doctorate, you're going there to get mentorship, to work with someone. So it's always good to identify the best possible mentor for you. And I think because of this, I've interacted with students from different schools, from all of the schools that I got accepted into. And then I've identified the most suitable mentor for me in terms of our belief systems, our values, and what I feel he would contribute to my career, or how much he would be invested in my career. So that was why I decided to go with the Boston University offer.
I love that. I love that. That you're almost going in there starting on such a great way, because you know there's a good fit. You've already published paper together. You know you work well together, and so it sounds like for you that kind of tipped the scales to saying, well, this feels like a pretty sure bet. I'm going to get good mentorship. I'm going to get good continuing training here. Then stepping into a bit of an unknown and having to build up a relationship that may or may not work. I really think that for a lot of people that might seem unorthodox, but I'm fully supportive of you going with that and trusting your gut on what feels right there. Yeah, Mohammed, tell me a bit as well. I mean, in terms of how have the publications, more maybe on a level of what it feels like now. I mean, publication sounds like it helped you with your application. Are there any other ways that the publishing papers has helped you?
Yeah, very much. Starting a paper from start to finish on your own, uh, it gives you self-belief and confidence that you can also go for more research, you can contribute to the field. And I think that's a very amazing feeling, more than anything else, to know that your contributions matter, because that's what it's like. It's being accepted by your peers. Probably that's why it's called peer reviewed. You're being accepted by your peers, that yes, you're welcome to the fold of academia or research, or contributing to knowledge, and ultimately to improving the lives of people in my own field, which is public health, or whatever field, even if it's in engineering or social science, whatever it is, you're trying to contribute to humanity. So I think it kind of feels good in a way, and then to see it out there and to see other people as well, people who you know, people who you don't know, sharing the paper and making comments about it. It's very, very uplifting. I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really great to see too how there were even some it got blasted around social media and some different news outlets picked it up. So it was really nice to see that the paper can have that longevity and impact and start to see some of the first citations coming to it. Mama, tell us a little bit too, though. I know there were a couple other papers that you got involved with. I know that systematic review was really your baby that you nurtured start to finish. Tell us about the one for the British Medical Journal. How did that one come about?
Yeah, I think I think I was probably in my second or third month in the group. I can't recall precisely when, but then this opportunity came, and I think you were working with the BMJ, and they commissioned this paper, and you identified me as one of the people that can contribute to it. I think even that boost of confidence, that showing you had that much confidence in me. I can't tell you how much good it felt, you know. And then what that meant is I would go and then do as much as I can to contribute immensely to the paper. And I'm very, very happy when I came back with it with the draft. You were also happy with it, you know, made some corrections, and we refined it and improved it more. And I think it's right there in the debate. It's right up there when it comes to misinformation and COVID. I think we're living in a very, very unfamiliar era, and I think this is one of the first few papers that is actually going to delve into that. And I think it's an amazing paper, and an amazing experience as well, working with other high caliber researchers, people whom one wouldn't have had access to. You know, not only the fact that you're publishing in BMJ, but you're publishing with other top people in the field as well. So that actually felt good as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what's really so nice is, Mohammed, that you felt good with the skills that you had picked up, that you could contribute to that conversation at the highest possible level in your field. I want to thank. I see some people putting in comments about they loved learning to use reference manager, use it all the time now. I mean, I think there's some things that unfortunately I feel like some of our programs and training just don't pass on in the way that we need to for our students. I want to open up and see if any of you have questions for Mohammed and how he was able to achieve this and how you might be able to do the same thing. Those of you who are wanting to get full funding for some top doctoral programs and go from a place where maybe you're looking 6 months ahead for yourself, that you'd love to have 3 papers out and get these kinds of full rides. This is your opportunity to pose the hard questions to Mohammed about whatever you might be going through. So don't be shy. Do drop those in the chat, and we'll take them. While that's coming through, Mohammed, I want to ask you another thing. Because on this with the reference manager, are there any tools that you found particularly helpful that maybe you hadn't used before? I remember at one point you were thinking about using Covidence as a software for the systematic review. Yeah, what did you pick up some lasting skills here that translate? What did you find helpful there?
Yeah, I think I agree with with the post now that reference manager makes life very, very easy and very, very interesting. And the one we usually we advocate for people to use in this group, and I say we as if as if, but yeah, but I think the one commonly used there is Zotero, and I think for good reasons. It's open access, and it works as good as the other reference managers. So I think I picked up Zotero. I hadn't used it before then, and I think I became very, very very, very confident with it, adapted it. I felt at home using it. Well, aside that, the systematic review itself, you know, it's a very, very useful tool. I think you can write a book with a systematic review. I think it's a very, very useful research skill. And I think up till now, I think I might still go back to the Kajabi course, open it, and absorb it all over again, because it's a very, very wonderful tool to have, because with that you can sort of it can guide you from the process of picking the right topic up till the time when you submit it to the journals. So I think that's a very, very useful skill I gained too. And you mentioned Covidence. So the software is not a free software, so I was able to use it once, because if you there is a number of studies I think they can register. It's not a free software, but it's very, very useful, because you can bring in other collaborators in, and you'll be able to work together with them remotely. It's even more important in this age and time. So shall I go on about
No, no, just asking
yeah?
those tools that you found potentially helpful along the way. I mean, Mohammed, what are you just sort of looking forward? I know you're looking to starting the PhD program now. Are you thinking of taking a break or a new research project? Yeah, where are you now? What for the next few months? What's the big priority?
Yeah, so for the next few months, precisely from April, May, and at most June, I hope to have another paper out. This one, a quant paper. I know, very ambitious, but it's actually doable. So I hope to have a quant paper from. So one of my findings was that there weren't enough studies that looked at vaccine access amongst internally displaced persons and migrants, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. So I think with the refugee crisis in Ukraine now, and it makes it more topical now. So I think this is what I want to contribute uh, in the next coming month. So it's the project I want to embark on in the next coming month. So I've started. There is a quant the, session, not a session, sorry, a quant project that we have on Kajabi. For those that might not know, Kajabi is the platform where David posts the basics of how to do everything, or the step-by-step guidance on how to go about this any research, either systematic review or quantitative studies. So I've now shifted to the quantitative studies, and I'm studying it, and I think I hope to start April, hopefully second week of April, and hope to finish by June. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm
where I'm
excited
at.
about that, but again, if I would have asked you at the beginning, if we were having this conversation, I remember 6 months ago, and I said, Mohammed, in 6 months you're gonna have three papers out and get full rides and say no to the top university, to the ranked top program in your field. I mean, I, I don't know. I don't know if you would have believed me.
I hardly think so. I would have hoped, but with a very cautious optimism. But yeah, at
But
times it seems too good to be true. But yeah, it's that's how life is. I believe with the right mentorship and with the right resources, I think all of us, not only me, anybody given this type of opportunity would achieve the same results. I'm not in any way special, but I think it speaks to what you're doing, and thank you for that as well.
you definitely worked hard. Yeah, I think that's helpful to say to people who might be thinking about working with. It could be with us, could be with other grad coaches that the value that can add. Here's a question I want to take that came through. Um, when you were choosing between master's programs, this is of course DRPH, the Doctor in Public Health. Um, so we'll answer it that way. But what were the most critical factors in your decision making, and any key tips when looking back?
Yeah. So
Oh, hey, Mohammed. I think on the stream we may be losing you for a second. So I'm going to shift over.
is it
Mohammed,
better now?
Oh yeah, you're back with us. Yeah, we missed that
Oh,
part
okay.
for a second.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I think was the what the post was referring to was getting admitted into the DRPH program. I think that's
Yeah,
probably what's about
I
the
think so.
master's program. Yes, yes. So yeah, I think it's a very very interesting question because uh, if you don't give it a lot of thoughts, you would be at a position where either you don't get into the programs you want, um, or you fall off in the application process itself. So I think it's the key decisions I made was one, choosing the schools and making my application very very strong. So I had to decide that these were the things that I would include in the application. I had to decide that I had to have my paper out, or at least my manuscript fully ready or sent for peer review before I applied, because I wanted to include that in my application as well. Well, it's no brainer choosing the top schools. Anyone can Google. It's John Hopkins, Harvard, Berkeley, Boston University. So I went for the big five in this case, and I also looked for people who I felt would really add value to my career and whom I was able to align with, both academically and in our shared beliefs as well, value systems. So I think that was one of the things that weighed heavily. So if I were to summarize, I would say the school itself, the mentor, the supervisor, and most importantly, I think also the funding. We can't not say that as well. That really also was sort of like the the cherry on top of the cake, if you have, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
thanks for asking that because I think it's a really important question. There's so many factors involved. It's really important, even in decision making, to identify just the main two or three dimensions that are key to your decision. And if you can optimize on those two or three decisions, most of the time you're going to get the decision right. And it really is a big investment in your future, uh, Mohammed, to get started. So um, I think that's really I think it was really bold of you again to take that step. I remember when I left Harvard to go to Oxford when I was a professor. People thought I was crazy. Like, how can you do that and leave? You're leaving the top place to go to the second ranked place, Oxford. And I think there's a certain confidence you can get when you can again trust your gut and know that you're making the decision that is maybe in the eyes of the world of people who are not in the know might not seem as wise, but you have that confidence in your inner compass that this is right for you. That's really invaluable. Mohammed, yeah, would you have anything to say to some people who are maybe on the fence or thinking about, yeah, well, maybe, I'm not sure if I really want to work with a grad coach, or what would you say to people like that who are thinking about it?
Well, to be honest, I haven't been been the type of person who would see things online and then go and then start talking to the person. But I think with you, I can't say what it was, but I think I saw how your content was very very rich, and then it got me thinking, if this is what he's able to provide to people, that he doesn't even know what more could be there behind the fence probably. So and then I think I would say to those people that I think you would be making a great deal of investment in yourself if you're able to get not only any grad coach, but I think to get someone who is well tested in the field, someone who has the right networks, and someone who is ready for a student, someone who is passionate about what he does, which is making learning more accessible to, or democratizing, yeah, learning. I think you would make a very very good investment for yourself. And I think I would encourage anyone who has been in the same ship as I've been in, wanting to publish, not having the right guidance, probably not thinking I'm not in an academic setting. It might be a very, very difficult thing to do. But I think with the right resources, I think they would be able to open a lot of doors to you. And then also, I'm excited. I want to see more people come into this community of ours, and I think there is value in diversity. I think the more people that come in, the more better it would be. So
Yeah.
I really encourage them to join here. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned that about diversity, because I really think it's pretty special that we have people from Australia, from Jamaica, from really Spain. I mean, all over the world in different fields, like you mentioned, engineering, education, political science, global health, and it really creates some things I never even anticipated setting it up, of the kind of cross fertilization that you just you just rarely are able to bring that kind of community of life, of intelligent, ambitious, hardworking people together to try to improve each other's research. So yeah, it really is a lot of fun. Here's a question directly for you, Mohammed. I want to take that came out. Um, and yeah, maybe you could talk about the process of figuring how you figured out where to send your paper to, um, and kind of what that process was going through and submitting to different journals.
Mm. Yeah. Well, in my own case, I think I just more of went headstrong, because I had a little idea of where we wanted the paper to be. So that was as difficult. But interestingly, one of my colleagues in the group, Maria, has done an amazing work on how to identify the right journal to publish in. And I think that's what I'll be doing next, which is to, from the beginning, try to identify the journal you want it published in, and I think it would be amazing. So, but just from the top of my head, what I can think of is a lot of journals put out call for papers, but the problem is by the time you start, it's not necessarily. They usually have deadlines, so you might not necessarily be able to meet those deadlines. So I think that is one approach as well you taught us. And then the other approach is when you're looking at your nearest neighbor papers, you see where the literature is coming from. And I used to think it was all about impact factor, but that can be misleading. You could have a journal that would have a high impact factor, but the people in the field don't actually rate it that highly. So it's something that it's only when you start publishing some of these nuances that you would understand. So the easiest thing is to probably you just use that as your first point of call. Okay, what are the high impact papers? In our field, it's Lancet, it's BMJ, but then there are also other journals that publish niche topics. Like in my own case, it was about migration. So the Journal of Migration and Health was the one that was more specialized towards that. Those are the type of journals that people in that field would be reading. So I think it's a little bit convoluted, but I think in summary, these are some of the things you look out for when deciding which journal to publish in.
That's a really good answer, Mohammed, and I think it's a really good question. I think one that can lead to a lot of confusion. I think it's an area where too you want, I mean, ideally in your support team, and I sometimes talk about having a dream team of mentors supporting you, that they can also help you identify the right journal just for you, and drawing on that wealth of experience. I know with ours, for example, I know I'll have some insider knowledge about certain editors or certain journals, what they're looking for. Is that 100% necessary? No, but it certainly can help. And what about Mohammed? I know you did send the paper to one journal that got just desk rejected. How did you handle that? I know some students submitting for the first time. if they do get a rejection along the way, that can be completely demoralized. How did you handle that?
Yeah, I think at times it's uh, I believe in serendipity, and I think things happen for a reason. So when we got that test rejection, I think it was time for us, or me as the lead author, to go back to the drawing board and see uh, what was the best, what was our next best move. And it happened to be, I think, in my own opinion, a better move, because you don't want your paper to sort of drown in a journal. You don't just want that stamp of approval from that big name journal, but you want it to impact the field you're actually looking at. So I think if it had gone through without that desk rejection, yes, I would have been happy at the time. But what would have been the long-term impact of the paper? Would it have cut through the noise in that journal? Would it have stood out on its own merit or not? And I feel, yeah, where it is now, I think it's a type of journal. And don't mind you, I've also gotten what do you call this, to those other more generic, or should I say generic or broader journals like BMJ and Health Policy and Plans. But still, I think in that particular instance, I was able to reevaluate and then pick a winning journal, I think, in my own view, and publish it there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Mohammed. The tension between the general journals that have a general readership tend to have higher impact factors as a result, and those that are really specialized right in your field that you're gonna kind of hit a targeted
Mm.
audience of who's who publish there, and that's where the debate and conversation is going.
Mm.
Um, and so, yeah, by the way, I'll link later that we do have a training in the group that will help you not only avoid sham journals, but will give some of our best secrets on how to identify the right journal for you. So after this video, I'll be sure to tag you in that. Guys, any further questions for Mohammed? Just about his inspiring story. That's really just uplifting how in such a short period of time, starting from not having research experience to getting to where you are now, it's just incredibly impressive. Um, and it is uplifting because I hope some of you can feel inspired and realize that you too can do it. If you get the right support and you're willing to work hard, that you can really fly. So okay, I think we're gonna be at a good point to stop. Mohammed, I'm excited too, though. I have to say, with you picking up the quant course, and we're getting people saying well done, Mohammed. It's really inspiring, and I'm excited to see this next chapter because you're working on such a timely topic, and I mean that ability to know that you've pushed the boundaries of your field, that you're taken seriously and listened to and really heard by top people in your field who want to work with you is powerful. It changes the whole way you feel and the whole way you see the world. We got another question too about kind of your long-term plans. Um, are you planning on pursuing life in the U.S. or go back to Nigeria at the end of the day? Really good question.
Well, I think nobody would say he wouldn't want to come back to Nigeria. I think it's a very, very amazing place. And I think this is where my impact would be felt the most. So I plan to come back after getting the DLPH. I think it's a very, very amazing country, and there is a lot of work to do here. So yeah, I think but with the caveat that you don't know how where life throws you next. But I really hope to come back and continue working here.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I love that, Mohammed, and one of the things that I make also very clear is because we can't just take on because of the time and energy we're invested in supporting our students working in a more advanced way. We can't just take on anyone. And one criterion is you have to be willing to make a difference with your work. You have to be contributing to the public good. I mean, I feel a responsibility that I get taxpayer funding for my salary as a professor. I feel a duty to give back and contribute to the commons, to the public's well-being. And that was very important, I know, for me, Mohammed, in thinking about us working together. And I know that commitment and passion you have for serving others. And that's definitely a common thread in the group. And I love that, Mohammed, that you're keeping that connection. And we've got other people saying, great job coming through here, being inspired by you. I think that's a good stopping point. Look, guys, Mohammed is in the group and is available. If you do have any questions for Mohammed, just even on something small, on how to use Otero. I know, Mohammed, you're incredibly busy, but you have that spirit of openness to serve the community. And the principle we have too is that if you've benefited from our advanced training, you too then have a duty to pass that on and support others in the community. So don't feel shy at all about reaching out to Mohammed, or even getting in touch with me or one of our assistants in the group, Christine, to get you connected to the right resources that can help you now. There is a wealth of training and resource in the group. Sometimes it's not that easy to find, so reach out to any of us and we'll make sure we get you connected so that you can get the most value. And if some of you are interested in potentially applying and working together in a more advanced way, get in touch with me and we can see if you can be a good fit. I would say don't bother applying, though, if you don't want to make a difference in the world and contribute to the public good, because that is a fundamental criterion. Yeah. Mohammed, any last parting thoughts or words for people watching?
Well, I think I can't say this. I can't overemphasize this, but I think working with you has been really, really amazing, in many ways than one. I think I've found firsthand value in this, and you've always encouraged us to be ambitious, and I think that really comes true from the type of topics we take on to our applications. Um, I think we didn't mention this during this session, but I think your application, your help during my application was very, very valuable. You've really coached us. I think us in the group that were applying to the program have had the extra the extra this thing from part from you. So thank you very much, and I'm really hoping to meet new people and learn from them as well, and share whatever little knowledge I've acquired from the group as well.
Mohammed's just super proud of your progress. Just thank you. It's an honor for me to work together with you as well, Mohammed. All right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for joining us today, and congratulations again for all your success. And I again really believe you that you're going to get that quant paper done in under 3 months. So excited to start that next part of the journey, and see you continue on to Boston. Looks like Boston's a lucky one to get you to continue on your studies. All right. We will be in touch again, same time, same place, every Friday, and we'll look forward to seeing you for next week's session. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.